So I've been upgrading my desk setup over the past few months and I gotta say it has come a long way. And in this video today, I wanted to talk about my 10 top picks on how you can upgrade your setup to make it much better. But before we get into this video, make sure to drop a like and a comment below to boost the algorithm, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let's get started. So the first thing on the list is to get a standing desk. It doesn't matter which brand you opt for, my specific unit is from FlexiSpots, and this desk was originally wood colored, but I did end up wrapping it in a white color PPF. If you never used a standing desk before, I gotta say it is absolute game changer. The ability to either raise or lower it gives you a lot of adjustability for your comfort. On top of that, if you're gonna be standing and doing work, it definitely helps alleviate some of that back pain. And ever since I started using standing desk, I gotta say I can never go back. Oftentimes, if you're using a standard desk with a fixed height, it doesn't really correlate to the ergonomics of the chair. And so there's always a sort of weird mismatching imbalance feeling, and you end up just being really uncomfortable at your desk. Next up on the list is to have a quality audio setup. Whether you're a gamer, a video editor, or someone who just wants to watch a lot of content, having good quality sound can really create an immersive experience. That could be either a good quality speaker setup, headphones, or shout out to our sponsor Cololight. They sent over their 7.1.2 channel speaker system for gaming chairs. This particular unit is the Colo CSG. It is compatible with PC, PS5, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. It has 7 channel speakers with 1 subwoofer and 2 overhead speakers, delivering an immersive 360-degree surround sound. If you have a gaming chair, it just straps right on top of the headrest area, and it gives off this ultra cool Tron-like design. And when it comes to the unboxing experience, it's very luxurious. It comes in a nice packaged box, and underneath you have all of your accessories like your cables and adapters to hook it up. You get 2 additional speakers which are plug and play, and underneath you have this main large unit. The setup process was super easy, it just took 5 minutes, and all you have to do is hook it up to a power adapter and you are good to go. You can either connect it via Bluetooth or you can use a wire to reduce your latency. And I gotta say, when I started using this setup, it was absolutely insane. These surround sound speakers really put you into the scene of what it is that you're doing. Whether you're watching a movie, playing video games, or even editing videos. It's so much more convenient than putting headphones on, as that can get uncomfortable over time. And even with it having a very bulky sort of look, it doesn't really get into the way of your peripheral. On the speakers itself, there are a couple buttons where you can use to adjust your volume, the bass, and even put it into the various modes like racing mode, universal mode, FPS mode, and theater mode. This all-in-one setup is very unique of its own, and I gotta say it sounds quite incredible.
Body dropped. Good effect on target.
Now moving on to the next thing on our list, it's gonna be an air purifier. This is the Kowei Air Mega 240, and it helps really purify the air in the space, allowing you to have a much more cleaner breathing experience. I feel like this is something that is often overlooked, but your health and your air quality is really important. My particular unit, I did swap out the filter to a charcoal and a HEPA filter, so not only does it purify the air, it also removes any odors that are in the space. This just allows your space to be a lot cleaner, so if you do have a PC or a console that has a running fan in it, it's not gonna pull as much dust and dirt into it, allowing it to be maintained a lot easier. Next up is a monitor light bar. The unit that I'm using is from Color Panda, and it has a couple of modes on here where you can either dim it, brighten it up, change the hue of it, and this is gonna be amazing if you wanna work in the dark, especially at night. It can definitely alleviate a lot of the eye strain, and with it providing some extra light, you can also, work on documents, write things on your desk. That way you can actually see what you're doing rather than working it in the dark. And since we're on the topic of lights, the next thing on the list is ambient lighting. The lights that I use are these bar lights that I got from Temu. They were super cheap, like 30 bucks a set. I typically like to leave it on a warmer orange as it's more comfortable to my eye, but just gives your space a little bit more of an ambiance. And although it seems like such a simple little thing, it's the little details that go a long way. As you can see in my setup, it is fairly clean. There are no loose cables dangling all over the place, and that's because everything is mounted right under the desk. I'm using a set of these no screw under desk trays that are held on by 3M tape, and it allows me to put all of my adapters, cables, and everything under there so there's nothing on the ground and nothing on the table. Yet again, it just adds to the overall upscale look. It just looks a little cleaner. You don't have things dangling around. And with it being paired to a standing desk where it can go up and down, you don't want all those cables being tugged and potentially being disconnected. So by having everything just strapped underneath the desk, just makes it a lot easier to manage. Next up is to get wireless peripherals. And pretty much everything at my desk setup is wireless, with the exception of the monitors, the PC, and of course the microphone. By having wireless peripherals, it just makes everything a lot easier. You don't have to mess with cables being tangled up. So I've been using a wireless keyboard and mouse from Razer and the Astro A50Xs, which are a wireless headphone. And the reason why I selected these products specifically is because they have a very low latency. Razer is known for their hypershift technology with 8,000 Hertz polling rates, so it feels just as connected as if you were using a wired setup. The next thing on the list is a phone stand. I've been using two units actually. One is a more passive one from O-Motion. I use this with my iPad mini, and then I use one from Anker, which is MagSafe compatible. This allows me to wirelessly charge my phone at my desk while also giving me a view of it, so if I have any notifications or text messages, I can address it right away. And this is great for those who are an iPad user that want to set up a secondary or third display. You can always put it on a stand and hook it up via a cable to give yourself a little bit more screen real estate in your overall setup. Next, if you want to add a little bit of life to your setup, I highly suggest getting yourself some plants. Whether it be some real plants or some fake plants, it definitely gives a little bit more of a color space to your scene. Now, all the plants that I have are just from IKEA, and they are actually fake plants because I just can't manage, taking care of a real plant. You can also follow up with additional decorations if you want to put, random figures or collectibles and whatnot, kind of personalizing your space. It makes it look less commercial and more personal. And last but not least is to get yourself a pegboard. I got a whole entire set from IKEA. These are the Scadis pegboards with these Scadis accessories like the trays and the hooks. By laying out everything on the wall, it just makes it a little bit more easier to grab, helps you stay a little bit more organized. Additionally, it just makes everything look very aesthetically pleasing. It's a great way to fill in that negative space with the empty walls. I also hooked up a power strip onto my pegboard, so if I want to charge any batteries, I just plug it right into the wall rather than having to reach on the bottom for an outlet. It just overall makes the whole space a lot more user-friendly and very interconnected. So these are my top 10 picks as to how you can upgrade your setup to be much better. And if you guys are interested in any of the products that I mentioned in this video today, I will leave them all in the description below. With that being said, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.